Today we're going to look at how to remove objects and people from a video using After Effects, just like they did in the Game of Thrones shot with the Starbucks cup. And we're starting right now. What's up guys, my name is Francois, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, I make tutorials for filmmakers, content creators and VFX artists. So if you're into that sort of stuff, make sure you give this video a like and consider subscribing for more content just like this one. As you could probably tell from the intro, I was pretty surprised to see that a massive production house like the one behind Game of Thrones could air massive on-screen mistakes like the one they did in season 8. Then I started looking around on the internet and found that the industry is filled with stray objects and crew members in background. So I thought, why not make a tutorial to show how it can sometimes be easy to remove an object or even a person from a shot. Now, this is not to say that these production teams are bad or don't know what they're doing. In fact, some of the most talented VFX artists work in these environments. It's just that they work under a lot of pressure and try to meet extremely tight deadlines. Like Nico from Corridor Digital, one of my favorite YouTube channels, rightly said, a movie doesn't get finished, it only gets released. So this is in no way a criticism behind the Game of Thrones crew or the movie for that matter. I see it more as an opportunity for us to learn how to apply certain techniques to our workflow, so that if we do happen to leave a Starbucks cup in a shot that wasn't supposed to have one, we have the right skill set to apply and fix it later, provided you're not able to reshoot. That would be the ideal scenario. Reshoot. Always reshoot. Never fix in post. Once you open the project files, which by the way you can find in the download link in the description, you're gonna end up with 4 shots, 4 compositions. Let's just dive in onto the first one. I'm gonna play it back as it is and see if you can maybe spot where I may have removed something or someone. Did you find it? I mean, it was pretty tough, that one. If we saw the original shot, there was a person here with white shoes. This one, can you see that person here? And to be honest, I don't know why I chose that person. Well, let's just imagine a scenario where the park was only open to people who were not wearing white shoes, and this person didn't obey the rules, so we need to remove that person. I don't know. So what I'm going to do is just duplicate that project to start from scratch. The person is here. Press G on the keyboard to open up the pencil, zoom in on it, and just go around the person, just draw a rough mask. It doesn't have to be too precise because we're going to use the same content-aware fill as the one you can find on Photoshop for those of you who use it, so it doesn't have to be an actual rotoscope where you have to be pixel perfect. Obviously you're going to have to make sure that the mask stays with that person all throughout the footage. So let's just add a keyframe and just do it roughly for now. Okay, so the tracking is done. As you can see, I haven't done every single frame here on the keyframe. If you press U on the layer, you can see all the keyframes applied. So there's a big gap here because I think it did a good enough job here. So you see, you don't have to do frame by frame. The effect is not going to work if you leave the mask in add mode. So you're going to want to just click on subtract, play it back. And there you go, you've removed the person. So thanks a lot for watching. No, obviously this is not finished yet. So once this is done, once the mask is applied and tracked, you're gonna want to go to Content Aware Fill. If you don't have it open already, just go to Windows and click on Content Aware Fill here. So if you're not familiar with it yet, if you haven't played around with it, you're gonna find basically a preview of where the Content Aware Fill is going to work. So that little pink circle is basically the mask that we've just applied. Alpha expansion is just how much bigger you want the selection to be. I think by default it comes on 20, and I found that the results are just fine as they are. Then you have 3 options of the fill mode: objects, surface and edge blend. So far on all the 4 shots that I've done it on, I found that the objects method actually works the best, even if you're only removing a surface like a logo, but your mileage may vary. So it's just a matter of experimenting and seeing what works best for you. Then the range, work area or entire duration. Work area is fine, you don't want to go before or after. There's no point for that. Finally, you have 2 buttons. The first one, create reference frame, just means that if you click on it, it's going to open up Photoshop where you can actually tweak the content aware fill and just add whatever you want to it. Then it's going to animate and track it to the mask. I haven't quite managed to make it work yet. I've only tried it a couple of times on other shots, so I can't really recommend it. I think as it is, the generate fill layer works just fine. So let's just click on that and wait for it to finish. It's just going to take a few minutes for After Effects to analyze the shots and render it. As you can see, it's just created a layer here with basically the replacement, the equivalent of the content aware fill, which you can find on Photoshop. So let's just have a look. It's just done that. And I think it's done a pretty realistic job at recreating the environment around the person we're removing. Obviously, there's going to be some artifacts here and there, but look, even here, it's even recreated the grass just fine. And this is what's kind of amazing with AI getting better and better, is just actually recognized the environment and the things around it that haven't moved, and it's just replaced it with it. So even the trees, you can see here the fine details. You normally have a really hard time doing it by hand, and After Effects kind of managed it really well. So let's just see the two layers together, the original and the new content aware fill. I mean, to be honest, that's actually really good. I can't tell where the person is, or where the person was. This is what happens when you don't listen to the rules. Sign says no white trainers. So once again, before and after. You can see the person here. And after. So this is what happens when you use the first method, the object fill method. Let's just have a look at the second one, the surface one, if you want to remove, say, a plane. Okay, I just want to take a moment to say that if this is your first time on this channel, thank you so much for stopping and clicking on the video. I'm very new to YouTube here, so if you could make sure to give this video a like and get subscribed, that would mean the world to me. Now back to the cool part. So I'm just going to duplicate the boat shot to work from scratch, open it up and remove all the effects. So let's say we want to remove the two C's, the logo here on the boat. We're just going to do exactly the same thing. Just press G on your keyboard to bring up the pen tool. Just draw a rough mask around it. Once again, it doesn't have to be too precise. Okay. And for this one, we're not going to track it manually, we're going to track it frame by frame just so you can see how it's done as well. So with the mask paths selected, go over to tracker or go over to window, click here if you don't have it, and let's just press play. It's going to track all the frames until the end of the composition. Okay, so this is done. Let's just take a look at the quality of the track. Yes, I'm happy with this. So just like the previous shot, let's just make sure that the mask is in subtract mode. Go over to content aware fill, leave everything as it is apart from the surface. For this one, I'm just going to reduce the alpha expansion just to see what happens. And press generate fill layer. Okay, so it's done. Let's just take a look at how it performed. I mean, it's obviously not perfect. If you stare at it and maybe compare before and afters, you can definitely tell that it was there. But if you're not paying attention and it's not the main focus of the shots, it's definitely better than leaving a Starbucks cup in a medieval setup like Game of Thrones. Right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something useful. If you did, you can like this video, get subscribed and hit the notification bell. Also, if you want me to cover any specific technique or subject relating to filmmaking and visual effects in general, drop me a comment below and I'll make sure to answer every single one of them. Finally, why not join me on Instagram and TikTok? I post a lot of cool pictures and funny content, which I'm sure you'll find entertaining. But anyway, thanks again for watching. I've been Francois, you've been great. See you next Thursday for a new video.